Hi everyone, my name is Kirsten Wilson and I am about to graduate as a advertising and public relations major, but I'm very unsure of what exactly I want to do beyond this point. But what I do know is that I love talking to people. I love their personalities, their stories, their experiences, their jokes, and everything in between. Meeting someone and getting to know them and truly understand them is something not many people take the time to do. I just got back from a fall semester abroad and spent almost 4 months with strangers who became some of my closest friends because I got to know them and experience life with them. Coming off that semester, I decided I was going to turn that desire to know people into my senior project. So today, I'm going to share with you No Longer a Stranger. So let's talk about what it is. No Longer a Stranger is a mini series on YouTube that provides perspectives on life from two generations with varying backgrounds. My two groups I chose were children under 10, because their view on life has not been heavily influenced by experiences or others yet, and the other group would be adults over 70, who I believe have words of wisdom and years of experience to share with us all. My project's purpose is to find connections between these two groups, to show my audience that just because people are strangers to you doesn't mean you can't learn to understand them or their worldview. And the point of the 2 to 4 minute videos is to show how simple and quick it can be to connect with strangers when you go beyond small talk and ask real and meaningful questions. Now let's touch on my goals. I have 3 smaller goals which all stem from my true goal and purpose. Those 3 smaller goals include sharing the stories, advice, and responses of my interviewees to make sure I hear from enough people in both groups in order to give my project diversity a meaning, and the other is making sure I provide a platform and place for their stories to be heard, and to make sure I keep their voices and personalities true to them. My main goal that I reference back to throughout the project to stay on track is to connect audiences with strangers and unfamiliar people for a deeper understanding of the world and others. When I wasn't sure of what kind of project to do initially, I knew I wanted to showcase people in some way and to learn from them in order for others to learn from them as well. So to start my project, I had to make sure I was sticking to my roots, or really my major, in order to show off all the cool things I've learned at Marywood. My major is advertising and public relations, and I luckily felt that my classes, involvement in the department organizations, and my semester courses abroad had all made me feel confident in my abilities. Where I didn't feel so confident, though, was my minor. I loved being involved with TV and editing opportunities, but they were usually with other students and not just on my own. So I took this opportunity to sharpen my skills in the telecommunication side of things. Clearly, we can see that aspects of both of these fields overlap in terms of storytelling and persuading people and understanding the audience, but I was able to create a brand and social presence for the series, as well as the series of videos themselves. Speaking of creating these videos, I'm going to go through the timeline of events from start to finish to explain how this whole thing worked. So to start, the first few weeks of the semester were brainstorming weeks for me. Students walked in with a game plan, but I walked in with barely an idea. Once I got help and suggestions from others and reformatted a few times, I got my project. Yay! But the dreaded search for interviewees came, and let me say, getting young kids whose parents are okay with them being on camera and older adults who want to see themselves on camera is an extremely difficult task. So I'm thankful for all the individuals who are willing to be a part of this. The next task was scheduling dates to meet these individuals to interview. While scheduling was happening, I was designing and creating my logos, visual ideas, and my pages to post. Those first 4 timeline pieces happened until about a week before spring break. I wanted to utilize that spring break week and the week before and after as my 3-week designated filming time. This was my favorite part of the project because each time I went to a new interviewee, I felt more and more confident in my skills behind the camera. The next 2 aspects were planning my videos and editing them. I use Final Cut to edit, and this gave me the ability to edit at any time I felt like I had some inspiration or direction for where the video was going to go. YouTube helped me with refreshing my memory of how it worked, and I learned a few things while watching as well. YouTube was also the platform I used to post all my videos. I just uploaded to my personal account that I use for school projects because I wanted the real brand presence to happen on Facebook. So once those next few weeks of editing and uploading happened, I spaced out my post, giving 3 to 4 days in between for the 2 to 3 weeks to share the videos. The final weeks were designated to creating the presentation and to assess how I think I did overall. Let's jump into the visuals. My logo on the left is my main photo on Facebook and the one that appears in every video. I wanted to use 3 colors for my brand, so my main color had to be a mix of the 2. I chose green, yellow, and blue to each symbolize different things. The yellow and the blue are the strangers, and the green is their new bond and friendship. The handshake is meant to show friendship as well as how the 2 colors have connected. My cover photo on the right has all of the 10 people who I interviewed, each with a smiling face. The ages, races, and ethnicities alternate and are all mixed to show how having diversity matters, but having it blended throughout the whole project and creating a sense of togetherness was more important. These are a few of my visuals for the actual videos. I wanted to make them all identical with just the photos and the titles changing. So the logo on the left, the text on the right, and the main photo taking up the top 2/3 of the visual. I decided on 10 questions to ask during those interviews. They are, what is your name / how old are you? What is your favorite food? So those are my first 2 intro questions. The following 8 made up the rest of the project. What do you want to be when you grow up? Or what is your dream job? Who is someone that you consider a role model? Who inspires you? Do you have a favorite memory or a story that happened to you? Do you have any fears, or what are you afraid of? What do you think love is? And can you tell me a little about it? What does it mean to be a good friend? And do you think you're a good friend? What advice would you give yourself? Or what advice would you give others? Do you think we should learn about others? And why do you think it's important to do so, or not? So after those visual ideas and questions were created, I filmed and edited the videos, which are all on the Facebook page, which I'll talk about next. But first, I wanted to show one of my videos to you all here. These are the grandparents of one of my friends from home. They are all Italian immigrants who came to the U.S. as teens and children. I asked them all of the 10 questions I mentioned before and chose to include their answers on love and friendship.
Okay, my name is Bertina Braccia.
My name is Sam Braccia.
My name is Domenica D'Andrea.
All right, ready to go?
Ready
Yes.
to go.
All right, awesome. So can you tell me what your favorite food is?
Lamb chop.
Lamb chop?
Yep.
A steak,
Steak?
Yeah.
Easy.
T-bone steak.
Spaghetti,
Spaghetti?
and I show. And I'm very proud.
So do you think you know what love is?
Absolutely. The love, it's the most beautiful words, and if you practice,
Love is everything. Everything. The word love covers everything under the sun. Without the love, might as well bury yourself in a hole.
What do you want this girl? What's the best thing? Somebody love you. That's the best.
Because love means love your wife,
love for the family, love for your husband, love for your mom and dad.
your mother and father, your kids, your chicken.
And I got my grandchildren that love me to death.
There is nothing more beautiful than that.
Oh, to be loved is wonderful. I think I am being loved by my wife, my kids. That is wonderful feeling. One of the best feeling in the world.
And if you love, the love comes back to you. If you don't love, it will not come back to you.
What does it mean to be a good friend?
That's a good question.
To be a good friend or to have a good friend is wonderful. It's just like another person to love. You would do anything for him or her, and she or he should do the same for you. That's a good friend.
A good friend is where you call somebody if you have any difficulty. You could share, you could call.
I don't think anybody has a lot of good friends. That's my opinion.
I think I'm a good friend. I think, but I'm not sure. I might know. I help the more I can. I did a lot for a lot of people. I don't know if they're my good friend or not.
If you find a good friend, you're lucky. be good to yourself and be good to others.
So that was one of the 4 videos I created, and now I'm going to share how each of those posted on the Facebook page as of April 14th. The page is called No Longer a Stranger and can be mentioned using @NoLongerAStrangerProject. So like I said, all of the information and numbers I have were collected on April 14th and I believe have increased since then. I chose April 14th to compare all of my posts as that was the day after the last day I posted on Facebook. My first video was on Art and Pat and was shared when there was maybe 2 likes on the Facebook page, but by sharing on my own and inviting people to view it, I was able to increase engagement over time. From the first to the second video, you can see the huge jump in reach and engagement just after 3 days of having the Facebook page set up. The next videos both showed increases in people reached and engagements, but the one with Betty, Sam, and Dominica did significantly better than the rest, which I looked into and saw was due from the amount of people that shared and viewed the post and video, which is primarily their family. So after analyzing how the post did on Facebook and looking over the videos and comments themselves, I found 3 key takeaways that I've learned from this project. The first one was that people generally want to share with you. The camera might be intimidating, but once they get past that, they like to have conversations and talk about themselves when you ask about them. The next takeaway was that the family and friends of those I interviewed were the most excited about this project. Once I shared the videos to those I interviewed and their family members and friends got a hold of it, that's when the project felt fully fulfilling to me. The final takeaway was that with each video, I felt more and more confident with my editing abilities, my filming and camera knowledge, and I found that every time I interviewed someone, my interpersonal communication skills and ability to connect with people improved as well. Those skills are ones you can't get from behind a computer, so I'm thankful for having this opportunity to further them. And that's it on my project No Longer a Stranger. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it.